My dear friends, at 82 years old, I've gathered many lessons along this journey of life. Some bring joy, some bring laughter, and some carry a quiet weight. Today, I want to share one of my deepest regrets, moving into a nursing home. At the time, it seemed like the right decision. My family encouraged it, assuring me I would have comfort, safety, and care, and in my heart, I trusted them. But the truth I discovered was very different from what I imagined. Now, I know many of you watching might be facing this very choice, either for yourself or for someone you love. Maybe you believe it will make life easier, or maybe you've been told it's the safest path. Before you take that step, allow me, as someone who has walked this road, to share 6 lessons, 6 regrets I wish I had known before I made this decision. These words are not meant to frighten you, but to guide you with wisdom. So I invite you to sit with me, listen, and reflect. Perhaps my story will help you make a choice with clearer eyes and a stronger heart. Let us begin. The first regret, my friends, is losing my independence. You don't truly understand how precious freedom is until it's gone. At home, I had my rhythm. I woke when I pleased. I made tea when I wanted. I could stroll outside, sit with my flowers, or simply rest in my favorite chair with a book. These small freedoms gave me dignity, gave me life. But when I entered the nursing home, everything changed. Suddenly, my days were ruled by someone else's schedule. Breakfast at this hour, lights out at that hour. Even something as simple as stepping outside requires permission. I remember my first morning there. I reached for the book I had been reading. But instead of my familiar shelves, all I saw were blank walls and a bed that wasn't mine, and it sank in. This was no longer my home. Slowly, you stop choosing. You stop asking, and without realizing it, you start losing yourself. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself this: are you ready to surrender the small freedoms that make your life yours? Because once they are gone, you will miss them more than you can ever imagine. If this touches you, type a gentle 1 in the comments so I know you're still here. My second regret is the feeling of being forgotten. When I first arrived, my family visited often. My daughter came weekly. My grandchildren filled my weekends with laughter. I held on to those moments as proof that I still mattered. But as months passed, the visits grew fewer. Calls replaced visits. Promises to come next time filled the air. Holidays became the hardest days of all, sitting by the door, hoping it would open, only to realize plans had changed. I remember one Christmas in particular. The tree was lit in the common room. Carols played faintly, but my chair was empty of family. I sat quietly, watching others stare at the door, hoping their loved ones would arrive too. It wasn't that my family stopped loving me. Life simply moved on without me, and that is a loneliness deeper than words. If you are thinking about this choice, my dear friend, prepare your heart, because no matter how much they love you, once you are out of sight, it is easy to become out of mind. If you're still with me, write 2 in the comments. The third regret is losing my purpose. At home, I had reasons to rise each morning, watering my plants, brewing my coffee, folding the laundry. These little duties may seem small, but they gave my life rhythm. In the nursing home, those responsibilities vanished. Meals were made for me. Laundry was no longer mine. Even the plants were not mine to tend. At first I thought, what a relief. But soon the days felt endless, stretched thin with nothing meaningful to hold on to. I met a man named George, 84 years old, once a carpenter. His hands had built so much in this life. But here there were no tools, no projects, no work of love. He told me one day with tears in his eyes, "I feel useless." And I understood. Without something to care for, something to create, life feels empty. Dear listener, ask yourself this: what gives your life meaning? Because once you step inside, finding purpose is no simple task. If you understand this, share a 3 below. My fourth regret is how quickly my health declined. At home, I stayed active. I cooked, I walked, I stretched each morning. These little movements kept my body alive. But in the nursing home, convenience became my downfall. Meals were brought to me, so I stopped cooking. Help was always available, so I stopped moving as much. Sitting became easier than walking. Soon, walking became harder than sitting. I watched myself weaken far faster than I expected, and I was not alone. My neighbor Alice, a lively woman of 81, arrived walking proudly. She promised she would not slow down. But months later she needed a walker, and before long, a wheelchair. She whispered to me, "I feel like I've aged 10 years in only a few months." Friends, when you stop using your body, it begins to surrender. And in a place designed to make life easier, it is dangerously easy to forget that movement is survival. If this truth speaks to you, leave a 4 in the comments. The fifth regret is dignity. At home, I had my privacy. I could close my door, rest in silence, and be myself. In the nursing home, that privacy was gone. Staff walked in and out. Shared rooms meant I was rarely alone. Even simple acts, like bathing, often required waiting for someone's help. And though staff meant well, it is not easy to surrender the dignity of independence. I remember the first time I pressed the button for help to use the restroom. The wait felt endless, and when help arrived, embarrassment burned deeper than I expected. My friends, dignity is fragile. Once lost, it is hard to reclaim. Comment 5 if you understand this struggle. The final regret is one most people never consider. Once you move in, it is far harder to leave than you think. When I first entered, I told myself it was temporary. If I don't like it, I will go back home. But life does not work that way. My house sat empty. My children began making changes, selling things they thought I no longer needed. My body grew weaker from the slower pace. And soon, the thought of managing alone seemed impossible. The longer you stay, the smaller your world becomes, until the idea of leaving feels less like freedom and more like a dream. Type 6 if you're still with me. Looking back, I do not regret aging. Growing old is a gift many never receive. But I do regret believing a nursing home was my only choice. Are all nursing homes bad? No. For some, they are necessary. But for many of us, they quietly take away all what makes life worth living. Independence, dignity, purpose, freedom. If I could choose again, I would fight harder to remain in my own home. I would seek help without surrendering my life. I would ask more questions before making a decision I could not undo. So if you or someone you love are standing before this choice, pause. Ask yourself, is this truly the best path, or is it simply the easiest? Because the life you have now, your rhythms, your choices, your small freedoms, are worth holding on to for as long as you possibly can. Thank you, dear friend, for walking with me through this story. If these words touched you, share one lesson you're taking away in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. And if this video brought you wisdom, I kindly invite you to like, subscribe, and share, so more arts may find guidance and comfort here. Until we meet again, take care, cherish your freedom, and remember, your life still has meaning right where you are.